All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking at something really fascinating, a book that takes these ancient, powerful stories from the Gospels and just drops them right in the middle of modern New York City.
And the book kicks off with this line, which, wow, it just tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just about changing the background from sand to skyscrapers. It's a deep, creative effort to see if these timeless messages still hit home, amid the beautiful chaos of a city like New York.
So yeah, that's the big question we're digging into. What does it actually look like when a prophet isn't wandering through Galilee, but maybe through the Bronx? What happens when a miracle doesn't happen in some far-off desert, but right in the heart of the city that never sleeps? Let's get into it. Okay, so first, we gotta get the main idea here. The author puts it this way. It's about making the gospel flesh in the asphalt, concrete, and steel of the city. It's all about finding that spark of the divine in our totally normal, everyday urban lives. Think of this as like a translation key for this new world. So instead of the fishermen on the Sea of Galilee, you get the bodega owners in Washington Heights. Instead of loaves and fishes, you get halal platters that just keep refilling. And the Holy Temple? Well, it might just be your neighbor's fifth-floor walk-up. So the whole cast of characters gets this modern makeover. The apostles aren't these distant figures in robes anymore. They're the people you pass on the street every single day. You know, a rideshare driver from Queens or a musician playing in the subway. Holy places aren't these giant ancient buildings, but maybe a local community center or a rooftop party. It makes salvation feel so much closer, like it could literally be a knock on your apartment door. Okay, so that's the people and places. But what about the really big stuff? I'm talking about miracles. How in the world do you translate something so supernatural into a city that's known for being so gritty and, well, real? And here's the key. It's all about making them immediate. These aren't just dusty old stories from a history book. They're happening right here, right now, in these iconic, super busy locations. The whole idea is that a miracle isn't just something you read about. It's something that could happen on your way to work. Okay, picture this. A man, blind his whole life, is suddenly healed, not in some quiet, holy place, but right in the middle of the controlled chaos of Grand Central Terminal, with thousands of people rushing by. And when the authorities and the skeptics start grilling him, trying to explain it away, his answer just cuts through all of that noise. He just says, "Look, I don't know how it happened. All I know is I was blind, and now I see." It's so simple and so powerful. And, it's not all about these intense one-on-one moments. The book also scales it up, reimagining these huge miracles that help thousands of people at once, tackling a really modern city problem, hunger. So in this version of the feeding of the multitude, you have a crowd of, get this, 10,000 hungry New Yorkers in Flushing Meadows Park. I mean, that's a number that really captures the massive scale of a city like this. And I love how they describe it because it makes it feel so real. It's not some abstract miracle with plain old bread. It's grounded in something every New Yorker knows, a halal cart. You can almost smell it, right? The rice is still steaming, the lamb is perfectly seasoned. It connects this divine, impossible event to the city's amazing, diverse culture. So we've covered miracles. Now let's talk about the parables, those stories with a lesson. And this is where the translation gets really interesting, because now we're swapping out old farming problems for the moral dilemmas you'd face living in a huge, anonymous city. So, real quick, just so we're on the same page, a parable is basically a teaching story. It takes a situation we all understand and uses it to shine a light on some deeper, often surprising, spiritual truth. So check out this modern spin on the Good Samaritan. A corporate lawyer gets attacked near Columbus Circle. Two very important, very busy people, a senior analyst and a city council aide, they see him lying there, but they just rush past. They're too busy, right? But then a bodega owner, who's just closing up his shop for the night, he stops. He actually helps the guy, cleans him up, takes him to the hospital. And it forces you to ask, in a city of millions, where we're all kind of anonymous, what does it actually mean to be a neighbor? And the story's punchline is this incredibly powerful challenge. It's a direct shot at a culture that sometimes values productivity more than people. It sets up this amazing contrast between the city's obsession with numbers and spreadsheets and this call for something way more basic: simple human compassion. Okay, so we've seen the people, the miracles, the parables. They've all been flipped on their heads. So what's the big takeaway from all this? What's the point of this whole project? Well, it seems like the goal isn't to give you a new set of rules or to rewrite history or anything like that. It's really more of an invitation. It's inviting us to change how we see things, to look at our own world, our own cities, not just for what they are on the surface, but for what they could be. This line from the intro it nails it. The whole point is to find the sacred right here, right now. Not in some faraway land from thousands of years ago, but in the small things. In a nod from the guy at the hot dog stand, on a crowded subway car, or just in that quiet moment when you see snow falling in the park. And that really brings it all back to us, doesn't it? It leaves us with this final question. I mean, whether you live in New York or halfway across the world, this whole idea pushes us to ask, if the sacred can be found in a Queens bodega or on the Staten Island ferry, then where can we find it in our own lives? And maybe more importantly, how do things change for us and for the people around us when we actually start looking?